Right now I'm live. Now, all right, there you go. Share this post. Share this post. Share this post. Yeah, we could do it on the 20th. No, 27th. Yeah, we could do it the 27th. I'll push it to the 27th. Yeah, of November. Yeah, because that'll be a little early. I'm gonna push it a little earlier in that month, a little earlier. There we go. That's all. Now it's all situated. All right. And what was the other one? Remembering. Okay, remembering. All right, remembering. All right, so that's okay. I got it all situated. So I'm gonna get started. Um, what's good, YouTube? The this is Raymania in the building, also known as Ray Shot Lamar Butler. And today on October 30th, 2024, I'm reviewing a underrated horror film that was released on March 16th, 2007. And that movie is none other than James Wan James Wan's Dead Silence. Um, Dead Silence is a horror film that came out on March 16th, 2007. It was distributed by Universal Pictures, and it was produced by Twisted Pictures, and it was directed by Saw's director James Wan, who is an Australian filmmaker who is also well known for Insidious and The Conjuring. Now, what is the plot of Dead Silence? Um, the synopsis for Dead Silence is after his wife meets a grisly end, Jamie Ashton, played by Ryan Quanten, returns to their creepy hometown of Ravensfair to unravel the mystery of her murder. Once there, he discovers the legend of Mary Shaw, played by Joan Henney, a murdered ventriloquist whose eerie presence still looms over the town. As he, de- as he desperately digs for answers, Jamie encounters the curse that took his wife's life and threatens his own. And that's the brief summary of Dead Silence. So I'm gonna get into the production on how Dead Silence was made. So the film took place in Toronto. Well, the filming took place in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The setting for the film's story, the non-fictional suburb of Ravensfair, is situated at Batley Bridge and goes by the name Ravensfair Town Sign. And Ravensfair is the suburban town and is essentially the primary setting of the 2007 James Wan film Dead Silence. The town is home to the Ashton family and is known for generating the legend of an angry spirit known as Mary Shaw. So let's go into the brief history of Ravensfair within the film. During the 1930s and 40s, Ravensfair was a wealthy community catering to society elite. It was the home of a ventriloquist named Mary Shaw, who headlined her at the Guignol Theater on Moss Lake. In 1941, Mary performed her act with a doll named Billy. Attending the performers were two young boys, Henry Walker and Michael Ashton. While Henry was suitably impressed with Mary's talent, Michael found her to be a fraud, and so because of this, the whole film is about Mary Shaw um, acting out her revenge on the people who called her out on her play being a fake. And it all started with a young boy heckling her performance on stage. Oh, what's up, Mike? How you doing? So The story of Mary Shaw did not end with her death. However, her her angry spirit wanted revenge against all the families of Raven's Fair. Over the span of years, her ghost haunted the town, plaguing everyone who lived there until most of the townsfolk were forced to leave. She concentrated most of her efforts towards terrorizing the surviving members of the Ashton family. I'm doing good too, and because of this, um, Jamie returns to Raven's Fair to bury his wife, and, and because of to bury his wife, who at the start of the film, like there is no, but at the start of the film, this is no spoiler because because what happened in the first, like in the very first scene in the first film, um, Jimmy's wife Lisa got killed, so that pretty much sets up the whole plot of the story of the film. Is Mary Shaw acting out her revenge on the people on, on the people who did her wrong, essentially, which all started because someone in the audience heckled her performance, saying that, "Oh no," saying that, "Oh no, uh, I see your list move. I see your list move. You're a fake. You're a fake. I can definitely see your list move." So that pretty much sets up the whole plot, all because a young boy couldn't keep his mouth shut, and that's what and that's what starts out the whole story. Now, the film now Dead Silence is not Dead Silence is not a perfect film by any means. This film seems to be quite polarizing. There are some who absolutely love it, and there are those who cannot stand it. But for me, I enjoyed I enjoyed the film. I think it's very scary. Like it's actually very scary. I love like how it takes this whole like it feels like going on a camping trip, and you're just there with your buddies you're just there with your buddies, sit, sitting at the campfire just talking about ghost stories, like very good ghost stories, and that's what Dead Silence reminds me of. It those classic ghost tales that you love sharing with your friends, and and I love how James Wan can take that traditional ghost tale and turning it into a feature length film for everyone to see. And I also love the design of Mary Shaw. See, that's Mary Shaw. That's the villain. That's the villain of the film. Like the main villain of the film, Mary Shaw, played by Joan Henney. See, that's how she looks like in the film, and with Mary Shaw, like the behind behind the scenes, that's how like they use a lot of makeup. They use a lot of makeup on her to make her look ancient, make it look old, make it look like a ghost, like a vengeful ghost. Mike said James Wan is a very underrated director, along with J.J. Abrams. Yet James Wan, he is underrated. I mean, his films like Saw, and The Conjuring, they have popularity, but to me, Dead Silence to me is one of his most underrated films because no one mentions it. No one really mentions it when it comes to James Wan. They don't talk about Saw, The Conjuring, Insidious, which Insidious, um, I never cared for that film to be honest. Like to be honest with you, I never really cared for that film. Like, does it look scary? Yeah, but when I watched it, I was never, I was never scared by it. I just feel like people just make a huge deal about it because that like a big movie that came out that came out in 2010. But for me, Dead Silence to me is a lot scarier. Yeah, it was okay, but for me, Dead Silence to me was a lot scarier because again, it takes you back to those old ghost tales that you love sharing with your best friends, whether you're at a sleepover or at a camping trip. That's what it remind me of. It's taking those classic horror tropes, eh, but also it's taking those classic horror tropes and turning it into something that's completely nightmarish, while also making it a very fun film to watch. And for an R-rated film, there's little to no violence within the film. Like I said, there is some violence when it comes to the first scene Lisa's with Lisa's death in the first film, but the but Dead Silence to me that could have gotten like a PG-13 rating in my opinion because like the violence is very sparse. Like it's very sparse. Like the thing about what makes this house work is how scary it is. Like it's genuinely scary. Like you definitely like what makes it scary is one Mary Shaw, two Billy, the three the setting like the whole setting of Mary Shaw. No, the whole setting of the film where it takes place at like where it has like this gothic feel to it. Like it's incredibly gothic. See. That's what the film looks like. Like it's very gothic. Um, it's just the whole mood. It's just the whole mood for the film. Like the whole film is about mood. It's all mood. It's very atmospheric, and I just loved how it looks. Like it makes it makes it incredibly creepy. It makes it very creepy too. See, here's Billy. That's Billy. So I really love the look of the film. It's very gothic, very supernatural esque, very supernatural, and it just sets up the whole tone of the film, like very dark, very unsettling, very terrifying. And so what are the pros of Dead Silence? So one of the main pros, like I said, is I love Mary Shaw as a villain. I put Mary Shaw as in 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 the top 100 horror movie villains of all time, because she deserves that list. And what makes her terrifying is the way she looks. Like she looks very frightening. She looks um incredibly terrifying. Like she looks like a witch, like like an evil demonic witch. And she is played by the wonderful Joan Henney, who did her thing in this who did her thing in this film. That's Mary Shaw with Billy. So and Mary Shaw looks actually scary too. Like she don't look like some like like your typical, like this is not your typical um horror horror villain who has a mask on his face, or or that goes around killing people. No, I mean Mary Shaw does kill people, but not in a traditional sense. Not like how Jason Voorhees, or how Michael Myers did her killings. Mary Shaw, like her kills are very quick. Like they're very quick, and the only way to not be killed by Mary Shaw is to never scream, because if you scream in her presence, you die pretty much. Like you scream, you die, and it's over for you. And that's so it's very simple. Like it's not just running around, running around, trying to escape the killer that is coming for you. Like in order to not fall victim to victim to the curse, or fall victim to her death, you must not scream. You must stay silent. And that, which is the title of the film, Dead Silence. You need to be silent when you see Mary Shaw. If you don't, you're done. You're done for. And another pro for the film is the music. It's the music score. I definitely love the music score of this film. Like again, it sets up the whole tone of the film. Like because the music is very dark, dark. It's eerie. It's gothic. It's mysterious, and it'll send chills down your spine when you listen to when we listen to the most iconic quote in all of in in the film itself, where it says, "Beware the stare of Mary Shaw. She had no children, only dolls. And if you see her, do not scream, or she'll rip your tongue out at the seam." That's one of the most iconic quotes in the film. And I put that up there with um the Nightmare on Elm Street theme song, the Friday the 13th theme song, Halloween theme song, the Exorcist theme song. Like any horror film that 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 you've ever watched and loved. I I definitely put Dead Silence theme song in that category. So James Wan stuck to the horror genre, but went a completely different route. While Saw falls under that terrible torture porn title, Dead Silence couldn't be more different, having more in common with the Hammer films of old than with anything modern. For me, this really showed that Wan was a true horror fan, someone that understood the many ways in which he could scare an audience. Saw was something that horrified me because although almost certainly unlikely, there was this strange idea that it could happen. That thought alone is terrifying. But Dead Silence can't happen, and we know that while watching it. But that doesn't mean that anybody can be any less spooked by it. The story itself is also very good too. While again, it does borrow again, Dead Silence goes back to that traditional classical horror tropes. Ghost with ghost, vengeful, vengeful demons, creepy dolls, them type of horror films. It's essentially taking a campfire ghost story and expanding it into a feature length movie, which is something many horror films don't do. It, Dead Silence Dead Silence plot is simple and easy to follow, while adding fun elements every so often, keeping us locked on the trail like Hansel and Gretel's breadcrumbs. And, and to get us hooked into the story, how about that fantastic intro scene? In less than 13 minutes, the story throws us enough to make us want answers just as much as Jamie, who begins his investigation into the murder of his wife Lisa. And another pro, and the last pro I'll give this film is it knows how to create a it knows how to create a frightening atmosphere, like the mansion, the theater, the funeral parlor, um, some of the killings. Like it creates a very chilling, dark atmosphere while also balancing balancing that out with a little bit of humor. And this film does have a little bit of humor in it, like not too much humor, but like it's not like laugh out loud, laugh, laugh out loud, running on the floor type of humor. It's one of those type of humor where you could just chuckle, chuckle lightly, saying, "Oh, huh, that's funny. That's funny." But I love how it can incorporate um, a little bit of humor to outweigh to tone down some of the more darker elements of the film, which is like the scare factor. Each of these locations felt so delightfully eldritch and so perfectly sinister. And Charlie Clouser's score only helped lock in that sensation. His oral presence weaving its way throughout the my miasma. Now, this film is now as much praise as I give Dead Silence. The film is not without its flaws. Um, and one of the main flaw I have with this film is the ending. Now, not getting into any spoiler territories, but what happened? What happened in the at the ending? It felt kind of while it was still scary and terrifying. What happened? And it kind of felt unearned. Like it kind of felt rushed, in my opinion. It's like, oh, there it is, and that's how the film, and that's how it ends. Like because there were so many questions that need to be answered, and I feel like the ending was just up to the ending to the film was just up to your interpretation. But there is an but however there is there is an alternate ending to this film. Um, I'm I'm not going to again. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you had but if you want to see the alternate ending, you have to watch watch it watch it yourself. You have to watch it yourself, and so that you can pick up the pieces on how the film started and how the film ended. See, there's Billy, and then there's Mary Shaw. Mike said, "Dead Silence, I need to watch." Yeah, yeah, you can watch Dead Silence because it's a very good film, like a very good horror film. Like if you love films like that have like a very gothic feel to it, like The Innocents, for for for, for example, the Innocents, like you would love that film, Dead Silence. And another thing is, I wish they tap in more. I wish the film tapped in more into Mary Shaw's past. In the film, they did like talk about her history and all, like snippets of her past and how she became the vengeful ghost that she is. But and the film, I mean, due to the film's length, which is 1 hour, 1 hour and 1 hour and 29 minutes. I feel like due to that film's duration, they didn't really cover much of her backstory as I thought they could. So they just like told like snippets of her past and how she became the vengeful monster that she is. Now her backstory is very horrifying. Like it's very horrifying, very very horrifying. But if they ever made like a sequel, like a sequel to the film, or like a TV series, I think they would delve more into her backstory on how she became who she became in the present day of Ravens Ravens Fair. So that's my two complaints with the film. The end the the ending felt kind of rushed, and number two, uh, I wish they I wish they delved more into Mary Shaw's backstory so that we could get a full understanding of who Mary Shaw is and how she became the monster that she became. And don't don't reboot it. Don't reboot it, but make like a sequel or at least like a TV series, like a mini TV series that showcases more of her backstory, so that I can get a full understanding of who she is and what her origins are. And number three is just it's just that I just wanted more. I just wanted more of this film because the film is 1 hour and 29 minutes. So if it was like a 2 hour horror film, like a 2 hour 30, like a 2 hour and 30 minute horror film, that would have worked. So that we could understand, so that we could have a full explanation on on the whereabouts of Mary Shaw, Billy, and also and, and not just Mary Shaw, but also the like the other dolls too, because how because how the other dolls came came to be, like were they also murdered, or how did how did where did she had all the dolls, or were the dolls were the dolls actually like victims that victims as like previous victims as well, like those are questions those are questions that I want to know, like not just Mary Shaw, not just Billy, but the other victims as well. Like were the doll were the dolls actually like no victim like real life victims? Because the more you think about it, like the more you think about it, the more frightening it gets. So that's my three, three complaints. One one is the ending. Two is I want I want the I want the film to delve more into Mary Shaw's past. And three, I want to know more about like the other victims past, like the other victims past, and how they came, who they became. But the pros for me are the setting, the production, um, a very scary like the very scary gothic dark atmosphere that the film had that the film portrays, a very good score, um, and also because of Mary Shaw. I love Mary Shaw. I think she's one of the best villains in all of horror films, and in the film in general. And I placed her in the top 100 most scariest horror movie villains. And that's my review of Dead Silence. And that's my review of Dead Silence. So my my final verdict of this film, I'm gonna give this film an 8 out of 10 because I think it's one of um, James Wan's most underrated films, horror films, and it still lives up to this very day. Like while the story is simple, I think the lore behind it is very complex. Because one thing I love about horror films is that even though even though the plots are somewhat simple in concept, like even though the plots may seem simple and, and straightforward, it's the lore behind it. It's the lore behind it that makes the story much more complex than actually is. Like for example, off topic, Luigi's Mansion, for instance, um, the very good game, very good game by Nintendo. I love I love the game. Like it's very simple, simple, easy to follow, but the story behind it is rather dark, considering the fact that when you actually go into that mansion and go into those separate rooms, whether it's the study room, the wife's room, the baby's room, or nursery, and you see all those ghosts that now haunts the room. So the more you think about it, the more terrifying it gets because you actually know because once you know the backstory, those people who haunt the mansion, like the ghosts who haunt the mansion in Luigi's Mansion, they actually died. They actually have died in that mansion, and now their ghost haunts it. So that makes it very scary. And with Dead Silence, um, I gave I gave it an 8 out of 10 because again I love the gothic atmosphere. I love Mary Shaw, Billy, very great horror movie villains, and I love how it's like a campfire ghost tale, but turned into like a feature length film. And I love the cinematography, and I adore the music score. My cons are the cons are the ending because I felt the ending felt very rushed. But there is but like I said there is an alternate ending to this film, and you have to watch it on YouTube so you can understand the lore of the whole film because the ending that they gave us felt very rushed. Number two is I want the film to delve more into the past of Mary Shaw, and three I want to know more about the other victims' past too. So that's my only three gripes with the film. But overall, Dead Silence is Dead Silence is a very dope horror film that deserves a lot more love, a lot more love and recognition. So that's my so that's my review of Dead Silence. 8 out of 10. With that being said, I'm 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 ending it off right here. So my my next live stream is gonna be on so for our next live stream on November 10th, 2024, um, me and Mike are going to review Cyndi Lauper's second album, True Colors, and our next live stream for November 17th, 2024, we're going to review Janae Aiko's unreleased album from 2003 called my name is Janae, and Alessia Cara's EP the summer, yeah, this summer, which came out in 2019. So be on the lookout for that for those live streams. And with that being said, I'm Ray Sean Butler, and I'll see you in the next live stream. Peace. And also, Dead Silence, very dope film. 8 out of 10.